Tudo que era americano era bom, tudo que era europeu era bom, tudo que era japonês era bom. Tudo que era nosso não prestava. Eu aprendi na vida sindical que o interlocutor só respeita o outro se ele se respeitar. Então, eu pessoalmente não tenho nenhum interesse de brigar com os Estados Unidos. A única coisa que eu quero é ser tratado em igualdade de condições. Eu lembro que quando eu chamei o presidente rato do FMI para dizer para ele que eu ia pagar a dívida, ele não queria que eu pagasse. Não, fica com o dinheiro aí, não precisa pagar. Eu falei, não, eu quero quitar essa dívida. Quitamos a FMI, quitamos o Clube de Paris, não devemos nada a ninguém e temos 207 bilhões de dólares de reserva.
Is there a possibility of a bank, of a union of South American financial interest? Is there like a European Union? Is it possible?
Vejo. Vejo e trabalho para isso. Com a Argentina, nós já temos comércio nas nossas moedas. Agora, esse é um processo que precisamos costurar. Precisamos construir. Porque eu sonho que a gente tenha uma estrutura de moeda única na América do Sul, de ter um parlamento da América do Sul, de ter instituições políticas na América do Sul, de ter instituições sindicais unificadas na América do Sul. Eu acho que nós estamos mudando, sabe, o patamar de governança na América Latina e pela primeira vez os pobres estão sendo tratados como seres humanos. O resultado do avanço político na América Latina é o resultado do fortalecimento da democracia. Eu sou um otimista inveterado.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you would like to say anything to Hugo on the way out?
My brother is my brother. You too.
The last two presidents on my list were Raul Castro of Cuba and Rafael Correa of Ecuador.
Correa displayed his disdain for President Bush, saying U.S. policies in Latin America are directly responsible for the rise of leftist movements across the region.
When Washington objected to Correa's demand that they remove their military base from his country, the new president demanded equality, an Ecuadorian military base in Miami.
Bueno, creo que el presidente Chávez empezó una nueva era en América Latina. Para nosotros en estos momentos es extremadamente duro tratar de hacer los cambios que queremos hacer y que necesita el país. Ahora que hay muchos gobiernos amigos en la región, como el del presidente Chávez, el presidente Morales, de los Kirchner en Argentina, Lula da Silva en Brasil, me imagino lo duro que haber sido para él hace 10 años cuando estaba absolutamente solo en una Latinoamérica llena de gobiernos neoliberales. La principal y tal vez única influencia de Chávez es que nos dio ejemplo en muchas cosas.
Where are you with the United States?
Bueno, nosotros queremos mucho a los Estados Unidos. Yo viví, estudié allá. Queremos mucho al pueblo de los Estados Unidos. Pero obviamente su política exterior es muy cuestionable. Y por eso cuando nos querían presionar para mantener una base extranjera en el suelo patrio, base extranjera que ni siquiera paga un arriendo, no paga absolutamente nada, y nos acusaban de extremistas porque no queríamos la base. Si no hay problema con tener bases extranjeras en un país, pusimos una condición muy sencilla. Mantendríamos la base norteamericana en Manta, siempre y cuando los norteamericanos nos permitieran poner una base ecuatoriana en Miami. Si no hay problema con bases extranjeras, nos deberían poner la base. Bueno, lo que ellos hacen es un poco de asesoría, etcétera, pero estamos limitando grandemente toda esa influencia que tenían, donde financiaban unidades completas de nuestras fuerzas públicas. Todo eso estamos cambiando, ¿no? Vamos a seguir luchando contra la droga, pero independientemente.
Rafael Correa is now being cast as one of the potentially bad left with Chavez and with Morales. So does he see that, or does he still think he's a favorite of the American media?
Con todo respeto, conociendo a la prensa norteamericana, estaría más preocupado cuando hable bien de mí.
Good evening. The bad news on assassination plots was reported today by the Senate Intelligence Committee. The committee issued a report which says that officials of the United States government initiated plots to kill 2 foreign leaders, were involved in plots to kill 2 others, were implicated in another, and that the CIA was aware of 2 more murder schemes.
Fidel Castro is alive and well, despite at least 8 CIA plots to kill him, and 1 plan to undermine his image by making his beard fall out.
Some of those who were the targets of assassination plots were widely known people. Che Guevara and Raul Castro, who is the brother of Fidel Castro of Cuba.
In January, the revolution, 50 years. 2003, around there, with Mr. Chavez's emergence and his victory after the coup, you are the grandfather, the godfather. And what do you think
Nosotros fuimos acaso los primeros, pero no padrinos. Todos son mayores de edad, todos caminan con sus propios pies, con sus propias ideas y aportando nuevas ideas. Por ejemplo, el socialismo del siglo XXI.
How do you feel about these inheritors? Some optimism?
No son herederos de las obras nuestras. Todos somos en definitiva herederos de algo. Los cubanos somos herederos de los libertadores de América, empezando por Bolívar, Sucre, de Toussaint Louverture, el haitiano, la primera y única revolución triunfante dirigida por esclavos en la historia de la humanidad. Somos herederos de la lucha más reciente de otros compañeros que han caído, como el Che Guevara, etc. Algunos eran muy jóvenes, como el presidente Correa, el presidente Chávez, pero cada uno va aprendiendo de su propio acervo y del acervo del continente y de la humanidad. Esa es la realidad. Ni padrinos nosotros, ni herederos ellos. Y la revolución cubana en el medio siglo ha llegado completica a la costa. Y los cubanos, a pesar de ser de carácter explosivo, hemos aprendido a tener paciencia. Una cosa increíble. Y de la liga explosiva esa, como calificó Fidel a los europeos, nuestro tronco español, la liga es y nuestro tronco africano. Estamos listos a otros 50 años.
It's 6 years ago, in January 2003, we were here to do Fidel. We talked for about 3 days. And he was a lone wolf. He was the holdout. And the island had no advertising, no corporations. It was this throwback to another era. He actually was the mouse who roared, who fought off 50 miles away the United States for 50 years, 60 years.
Like the old man in the sea.
Like the old man in the sea. It's a sad story. Hemingway wrote, the old fisherman goes out, he catches this gigantic fish, which is the revolution in 1960. And of course, by the time he brings it into shore, it's been eaten by the sharks. Still, the man tried. He was noble in his effort, and Hemingway gave you that strength of character, that beauty of loss, tragedy of effort sometimes. What I liked about Castro was that he said to us, there is a pendulum to history. These things change. And he saw in some weird way that this whole thing in 2000 was going to shift. And I hope to God we see the end of this predatory capitalism. I think there's such a thing as a benign capitalism, but there's a predatory one that really destroys people. And we've seen it all our lives. Chavez is facing the same odds as Castro. I think he has more allies. First of all, what impressed me about Chavez is his strength. He's a bull. He's got the same strength that Castro had when we met him in 2003. But remember how strong Castro was. He kept it up. Chavez keeps it up.
What do you think in the U.S. they meet Chavez?
That's clear. He's a threat as much of a threat to the system as Castro was. He's a great example. If he succeeds, it'll be the first time in Latin American history, except for Castro, where he's led an entire region, practically the entire continent, away from the IMF and the United States economic controls.
Soon after I returned to North America, another president appeared on the scene.
If there is anyone out there who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy. Tonight is your answer.